Hello friends, welcome back. In the last video, we discussed about three important rules related to the drainage system. In continuation of that, now we are going to start with the fourth rule. In the fourth rule, there are two important connections we need to consider. For example, this is the vertical riser and this is the horizontal line coming from the floor. So how the connection should be made at this point, what are the limitation we have, that we will see here. So the first thing, if the branch inlet joints at 45 degree or less, for example the option G. In this option, this is the most preferable option in the horizontal to vertical connection if you have sufficient space in the shaft itself. Okay, so what this option is telling, no no swept entry needed, flow is already smooth. Actually we have two kind of connection, like one is a swept entry and the square entry. First we will see what is that, then we will come back to this rule for the clear understanding. The first one is the square entry, the second one is the swept entry. So what is square entry? Equal branch connection more than 45 degree. Okay, so if you see the main riser and this branch connection, if you see the angle, if the angle is more than 45 degree, then that is called as a square entry. In the drainage system, square entry means the branch pipe enter the main stalk at 90 degree or more than 45 degree without any smooth curvature. If you see this one, like you can see the equal T. For example, you have one equal T, which normally we are using for the chilled water, firefighting, plumbing, different application. We have the square equal T. So if because of this one, the connection is like abrupt connection will be there, like a direct hitting of the flow into the stock pipe. But the issue is the standard, like a British standard, which always accept both the square entry and this swept entry. So we cannot avoid this one, but in some cases it is not recommended, but some cases still we are allowed. So that case we are going to see now. Basically, the curve at the junction is so sharp that a branch flow hits the main pipe almost squarely. Example, a 100 mm branch pipe connects into the 100 mm stock at a 90 degree using a standard T connection. This is what I told you. Like a standard T connection, if the flow enter into the riser, that is called as a square entry. It causes the turbulence, increases the risk of blockage and generates higher flow resistance. Okay, so this is the thing about the square entry. Now coming to the second one, the swept entry, which is the most preferred fitting for this kind of connection. So swept entry means the branch pipe joins the main stock at less than 45 degree angle. Okay, that is less than 45 degree angle. I will show you that one. So this flow path is smooth, guiding water and solid in the same direction as the main flow. So the water will, this is the horizontal line, it will come. For example, if you have 45 degrees, it will go like this. Okay, so this direction will be very smooth, and the water, there will not be any turbulence, it will be creating in the riser. So this reduces turbulence, allow self-cleansing velocity, and recommended for a soil stock. So if you compare the flow range, normally the swept entries have higher maximum flow capacity compared to the square entry, because the swept entry reduces the turbulence and friction. It has a higher maximum flow capacity than a square entry for the same pipe diameter. As I told, the standard is permitting both square and swept entry. So we need to select the entry very correctly, like I show here. The first option A is if the branch inlet joins at 45 degree or less, like this thing. This is already the swept entry. So additionally there is no special connection structure. The flow will be very smooth. It will flow like this from the main flow. So this will not make any turbulence. Okay. So coming to the second case, we have the, if the branch is smaller than stock. For example, you can see the H. The H means this is the one unequal branch. For example, this connection coming from the flow trap with the 80 mm dia, and this connection is going with the 100 mm dia. So there are different connection between the branches and the riser. Okay, 80 to 100 or 100 to 150. 100 mm branch pipe, 150 mm riser pipe. Swept or straight entry, both allowed. Both allowed, because the smaller branch doesn't disturb the stock flow as much. This is what the standards say. If you have the 100 mm 80 mm dia, if you have the 150 mm dia or 100 mm dia, this branch is low, of the branch connection is low compared with this one. So the standard allow you to have the square entry or swept entry, both are allowed in this case. Coming to the third case, here is slightly different. You have the equal diameter, that means the main pipe and the riser pipe both are equal dia. This time they have one new limitation. What is that? This time this should be swept in the direction of flow with a radius of not less than 50 mm. So we need to have minimum 50 mm radius for angle of 89 degree to 67 degree. Recommended is sanitary tree with the angle of 87.5 degree. So in this case, what they are recommending, if you want to connect with swept entry or square entry, you have to consider this rule for the equal diameter. So this should be minimum 50 mm, more than 50 mm radius will be there, and the angle should be 67.5 to 89.5. If you go to the sanitary T option, normally the angle will be 87.5 degree. So this is the most preferred thing we normally follow for the all the high rise and super high rise building. We will go with the sanitary T with the 87.5 degree angle. So this is the recommended thing for the high-rise building connection. I mean the horizontal to vertical connection. Okay, so the same thing you need to follow for this is another rule, below ground installation. For example, this is the main pipe of flow is going in this way, and you have the pipe connection from the like house connection or other things are coming to this area. So you cannot connect directly like this one. You cannot connect directly like this one. You have to make the entry like a swept entry. We have to follow this kind of a connection to the main line. So like this swept connection we have to follow, and this is not allowed to have the opposite direction flow, because the flow is like this. It's not allowed to have the opposite direction flow. This will make some blockages here. So it should be in the direction of flow like this should be the direction of flow. It should not be opposite direction of flow. So this is one of the important thing in the below ground installation. So now we discuss about two important rules for the connection. Now the next thing is, hello friends, 1 minute. We work hard to collect all the information from various sources to give you best understanding of the subject.
Most of the people watch the video but they don't subscribe. Please motivate us by subscribing our channel to post more and more technical videos for you. Thank you.
now the next and very important thing is rule is the prevention of cross flow. When the two pipe from the floor, for example, we have a floor like this. So here we have the apartments, here we have the apartments, and this is the riser area. So here from here this apartment one flow is under like this. From this apartment one pipe is under like this. So here there is a chance of prevention of cross flow. To avoid this one, the standard has some important rules to prevent cross flow from the discharge from a large diameter branch connection, example water closet, into a small diameter branch, example wash basin, but the latter should be connected to the stock at or above the center line level. Okay, so there is an offset. So we have to maintain some offset between the higher dia and lower dia, or it should be at a right angle. Okay, so what is this requirement they are telling? We will see now. So in this case we have 2 points, point number A and B. First we will go with the point number A. This is the point number A, and this is what they are mentioning. So when branches like water closet, wash basin, shower pipe, etc. connect to a vertical soil stock, the entry position and the type of fitting affect the flow and trap seal. This is why the code defines the no connection zone and max and the minimum offset. So point A, opposite connection without the swept entries. For example, you are going with the swept entries, not you are not following the, it means like you are following the square entry instead of swept entry. That time you have to implement this rule. For example, if two opposite branches enter the stock at the same height without swept entry, they cause turbulence and blockage. So how to avoid and how to go with the offset? For example, if the branch pipe is less than 65 mm dia, let's say that we have one pipe is entering from this floor, one pipe is entering from this floor, the branch diameter is 65 mm dia, then the offset must be 110 mm minimum for the 100 mm stock. If this riser is 100 mm, then this offset must be 100 mm. If this offset by 250 mm for a 150 mm stock, if this riser is 150 mm, then this offset must be 250 mm. This is for the 65 mm dia and less than that one. If it is more than 65 mm dia, for example, this the branch pipe dia is 80 mm dia, then irrespective of anything else, you can go with this 200 mm dia offset. Okay, let's say this is the 100 mm dia pipe is coming from one floor, then this offset must be 200 mm since it is more than 65 mm rule. So this rule we have to follow. Let's say we have two pipes, one this is like 80 mm dia This is like a 50 mm dia. Now this one, now we have to decide the offset length. So we have two rule. One is less than 65, one is more than 65. So I told you one is 80 mm dia, one is 50 mm dia. So both different pipes are coming mean we have to consider the highest one. We have to consider the more stringent, the larger offset. That means we have to consider the 80 mm dia. Then if it is 80 mm dia, we have to go with the 200 mm dia offset. So this is the rule. So here what they mention, imagine two wash basin from opposite apartment connecting to the same vertical stalk directly opposite each other at the same level. If you use the square entry, then the flow will collide and splash inside the stalk. So to prevent this, one must be connected slightly higher or lower, or 100 to 250 mm based on the stalk size. Then this is the first rule. If you can convert either branch to a swept entry, if you convert the branch to the swept entry like a 45-degree, that time this rule is not applicable. But if you follow the square entry, then you must have to provide the offset. You must have to follow the offset rule as it is mentioned here. Okay. So unopposite connection. If a branch connect on one side only, no opposite branch means there is no issue. Okay. If there are two opposite branches are facing each other, then you have to follow this rule. Similarly, there are some other additional requirements rules are coming that we will discuss in the next video. Thank you.